after that, it would happen every once in a while. So weird. And it's a symptom of anxiety. Both are.
So depersonalization realization is technically not a symptom of anxiety. It is connected to a dysregulated nervous system, but depersonalization realization doesn't happen until the point of traumatic stress. So according to the polyvagal theory understanding of the nervous system, which was developed by Dr. Stephen Porges, who's a neuroscientist, the way that our brain and nervous system respond to actual threat or perceived threat is to draw upon a hierarchy of defense mechanisms based upon their evolutionary development, with the most recently evolved defense mechanism, which is technically called our social engagement system. And so what that means is whenever we feel really stressed, we look to other people to calm us down. If we can't find regulation through other people, then we go into fight or flight response. If we feel too trapped, too overwhelmed to fight or flee, that's whenever we go into the freeze response. It's technically the dorsal vagal branch of the parasympathetic nervous system. And that is whenever our body and nervous system begin to prepare to be eaten by a lion. And one of the ways that our brain, body, and nervous system prepare for that is to shut down what Dr. Bessel van der Kolk, who wrote The Body Keeps a Score book, calls the mohawk of self-awareness. It's literally a series of brain structures that kind of look like a mohawk haircut that begin to shut down. These brain structures are responsible for us feeling connected to ourself, to our body, and the material world. But whenever you don't know this, you literally assume that you're going crazy. And that's why we have to get education about how our brain, body, and nervous system works in different states. You know, I love that our children learn, math and reading and lots of great skills, but we don't teach our kids about how their nervous system works. And I think especially in school, if we could start to train our kids how our nervous system works, we could prevent a lot of the cycle that happens, which is people are already stressed out. But what ends up happening is they get traumatized by the symptoms of trauma. The freeze response, trauma response, those terms are synonymous. They're literally traumatized by the trauma symptoms because they're so terrifying and people don't know why they're happening. And so their catastrophic anxious brain fills in the blanks with, you're going crazy, your brain is broken, you're losing your mind.
Part of what's called disassociation, and they're often triggered by anxiety, trauma, or stress.
So they're dissociative symptoms. So dissociation comes from a Latin root word that means to sever or separate. So it's basically the various ways that our brain separates us from painful experience. And in this particular instance, the way that your brain is separating you is in the form of making you feel out of body, detached from the material world, detached from yourself. And it's to prepare you to be eaten by a lion so that way you don't feel it as much.